Let's learn about the tight end prospects for the upcoming NFL draft right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Wow, the NFL draft is just a few weeks away. Unbelievable. And we're joined by Emory Hunt at FBall Game Plan on Twitter at FBall Game Plan. Please follow him. He's got great information for you. And he's going to give us his favorite tight ends within the tight end position. So you've broken it up, H-back, inline, and flex. So can you explain each of them? And first, give us your number one inline tight end.
Inline is more of your traditional tight end, a guy that's going to be in line blocking. In addition to what he brings to the table as a receiver, case in point, someone like Rob Gronkowski or Jason Witten. Those are what you think about in terms of inline guys. But more recent, how about Pat Freiermuth as an inline guy? And someone that compares favorably to him is my number one tight end, inline tight end, and that's Cade Otton out of Washington. Blocks really well, criminally underutilized as a receiver at Washington. I think he's someone that can be a plug and play from day one as an NFL player. Now, there were some injury concerns there with him at Washington, but when you watch him run routes, you watch him get open and catch the football, he's exactly what you want at that position.
All right, how about H-back?
H-back is more of the versatile guy, move guy, someone that you can put in line. You can put detached as an H-back or flex him out as a receiver. You can even give him the football in the backfield as someone that can carry it. Case in point, you look at San Francisco's entire tight end fullback group, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle. Those are what you want at the H-back spot. And someone in this draft class that exemplifies that is Jake Ferguson at Wisconsin, who's been at Wisconsin, it feels like, for 17 years, but he's been dynamic. He's a tremendous talent. He can get open. He can own the middle of the field. He also blocks rather well. He moves rather well. And to me, he's the ideal H-back in this draft class, along with someone like Greg Dulcich, who is my number 2 H-back. But, man, they have the same grade. But Dulcich, to me, is a George Kittle clone. So I'm excited about both of those H-backs in this class.
All right, how about flex? Are these the ones that fantasy managers should be most excited about?
This is the one they're always excited about, right? Yeah. These are the guys that are like big wide receivers or slower wide receivers, depending on how you want to look at it. But these are the guys that can get down the field, that can stretch the defense. Garrett Prince was a combine snub, in my opinion. So I think he's going to be the first guy drafted outside of the combine that didn't get that invite because he's dynamic as a route runner. I spoke with him at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He compared his own game to Travis Kelce. And when you watch him run routes, he has that same type of sauce, that same type of, fluidity within his route running. You can tell this dude played a lot of football growing up. You can tell he played a lot of basketball. His body control is what makes him dynamic as a route runner, which is why I'm excited to see him and how he progresses.
So tell me about Trey McBride, who's a popular tight end name right now.
McBride is someone that I think he's more of an H-back than an inline guy. He played inline at Colorado State. He catches the ball rather well, so I wouldn't want to waste his ability having him try to fight his way through blocks up front in line because he's a shorter guy. He's about 6'3", so I think he's better off the line of scrimmage because of his route running and his ability as a position blocker. So he can get out there on the perimeter and block rather well. I don't want him down in, down out, having to worry about defensive ends before he gets into his route. Put him off the line of scrimmage, allow him to get into his route because that's where he'll do the most damage.
So who's the first one off the board and what round?
I would say it's quote unquote, it's a passing league. So you got to go to the flex position. Garrett Prince is someone that I would take first, but if I had to guess, I'm going with Greg Dulcich out of UCLA because of what I talked about, his ability to get down the field, his ability to make things happen after the catch. I feel like he's more of a splash guy. He tested well the combine. So for me, if I had to, put odds on who's going to go off first, round 2 is where you probably see one of these athletic tight ends go. And I think it's going to be Dulcich out of UCLA.
Okay. And is this a guy like round 2? I was just talking about these guys on a show earlier this week. Cole Kmet, Irv Smith, they were round 2 picks. What do you think about Dulcich with those guys who we haven't really seen give us big production in the NFL yet? Hopefully this year, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and that's a great point because I think that also ties into situation. So you hope that Dulcich goes to a place where he's going to be utilized right off the bat. If he lands in somewhere like Baltimore, he's going to be utilized right away. But if he goes somewhere, let's say like a Miami, where he's going to be the second or third tight end, that may not be the best situation for him, and it has nothing to do with his talent. So it all depends on the situation more so than anything. If he goes to the Giants, hey, he could be a star right away.
All right. Emory Hunt, thank you very much. We got another episode coming at you tomorrow with some more NFL draft prospect talk here on Fantasy Football Today.